What's going on, guys? Welcome to the weekend AMA. Um, so, um, it's been a long week for me. For those of you guys who don't know, I'm looking at buying a house, man, and I know my realtor is probably getting fed up with me because, like, what I'm looking at, I'm so all over the map, man. The house I like got swooped up, unfortunately. Um, and every day I'm thinking about, man, should I just buy this 2018 brand new build, that new house smell house? Should I get something like that? 6 bedrooms, 3 baths, 3,000 square feet, or should I get like the 1995 recently renovated house that comes with like a half acre to an acre of land? And it's it's rough, man. I've always been one of those people who's very flexible in life, and it's the thing that has made me very successful. It's also the thing that people who are close to me are most frustrated with. And so I can only wonder what my realtor thinks when I send her a $250,000 property that's for like an old house that's out in the little bit of the country part to the brand new construction house for 350,000 to a house to of that's like just not like they're not even done building, and it's got to be rough, man. But so that's a little bit what I've been up to. I look so happy and healthy and relaxed in stories. Here's the thing, man. Full disclosure is, I knew I could make more money, and I don't want to talk about money too much, but I just want to say this is I was working very hard to get my skills up, to get my level up. And by the way, I was getting paid fairly. You have to understand, I barely have 2 years experience in the industry. Aren't I scared you want to relocate for a better job opportunity? Here's the thing, guys. I don't want to get too much into finances and details, but at least in the market that I'm in, with the where I'm at salary wise and job experience wise, there isn't going to be a much better opportunity. I am very well compensated, and I'm very happy. I like the people I work with. I think it's great places for advancement. The only reason I would ever job hop is for more money. And honestly, where I'm at, not only do I love the culture, the people, I don't have to job hop to get a higher salary. I'm already in that place that I wanted to be at 5 years, and I'm there in 2. And so I'm ecstatic. My work has essentially bought me for several years, as far as I'm concerned, and they are paying me like a senior dev, and that is something that I'm very happy about, and I think I've earned that to a degree, right? Because that's what the market would pay me, and it's been crazy. So but yeah, so am I looking happy? I think it's because of the beard, man. I think it's because of the beard. I also just took 2 days off, so I have about I get, not counting holidays and PTO and stuff like that, or holidays and sick days and floating holidays and stuff like that. But I get 3 weeks of PTO, 15 day or 120 hours, 12 days, or no, 40 hours a week. Yeah. 3 weeks worth of PTO, 120 hours. And I get to roll over 40 hours a year. So your boy is a grinder, right? So he doesn't take vacations. So 6 weeks ago, I look at my PTO and I have something like, if I don't take any days off in the next 6 weeks, I'll be at like 90 hours of PTO. So I've been slowly for the last 5 weeks, I've been taking a Friday off, and I still didn't take enough time off, and I had to blow 4 days. So I took this Wednesday and Thursday off, and I'm taking Tuesday off, and then I'm carrying over exactly a full week of PTO into the new year. So I've been getting a little bit of rest, a little bit of relaxation. I'm feeling good. I'm really stressed out, to be honest with you. I'm actually growing this out because I got a new Dolan sketch that I'm going to film pretty soon. It's called How to Know You're No Longer Broke. So it's gonna be a money related. Dolan's all about that cheddar and bread, and so we're gonna talk about how you're no longer broke. So that will be the Dolan sketch. I don't know. I'll probably film it. It's a 4-day weekend for me this weekend. It's been ecstatic. But so someone asked about job hopping. So first off, the first thing you have to understand is that when it comes to job hopping, is that it's awful. It's awful in the sense that you have to prepare for months at a time. Because let's think about it this way. Let's say when you're job hopping, right? When you're trying to go from a $50,000 salary to a $70,000 salary, you're talking about making 40% more. So what that means is you have to get 40% better. That's really what it means. You can think of it like that. When you're trying to go from 70 to 90, you need to get another 30% better where you were there. And from 90 to 115, that's going to take you another, 20% better. And it's possible, but you got to put the time in, right? So for me to up my skill, it takes me 6 months to a year to up my level of skill. So if I know that I want to be at a certain salary and I know I can get that if I get the skills, you have to prepare, you have to study, you have to put it there. And the right workplace will respect that and will understand where you're at. So, and this is what I tell you time and time again, guys, is the people that companies want to hire are the lifelong learners. It's the people who want to continue to grow. It's the people who want to continue to grind and learn. And it's kind of, if you watch my video today, it's about Google and Apple not giving a shit about degrees and just sort of making an announcement about it, more or less. The reason I made that video is because I want you to understand it's the type of level, it's the type of person they're looking for. And that type of person is going to continue to develop. See, here's what you have to understand and why the renegotiation, the contract or the big offers come. It's because the type of person that they're looking for, you're not only good today, but it's just a proven fact that you're going to be better a year later when you're a certain type of person, right? Like I have no plans in the next 2 to 4 years of job hopping in the slightest. I'm extremely happy. So much so that I'm buying a house. When they hear that, they're like, we locked this motherfucker down, dude. We got him, right? We got him, and they don't have to worry anymore because you're not going to job hop, right? So the thing I'm trying to make to you is that companies respect employees. They respect honesty. They respect lifelong learners. And if you are a lifelong learner, and that's not necessarily in the traditional sense, it could be, right? I'm not a traditional employee, right? I'm a little bit wacky. I wore a Pac-Man shirt to work today on, casual Friday, right? Where Pac-Man's like eating the desk. So anyhow, so we went back to job hopping. So how do you prepare for, what was the original? Some tips on how to look for a job when you're currently having. The first thing that you can do is go on LinkedIn, and there's a setting in the job search thing to tell recruiters that you're currently looking, that you're open. There's a setting you can do on there. And so recruiters will be able to see that. That's the very first thing you can do. The second thing is the same thing that you would normally do if you would never been having a job. You're going to need to, in the mornings, at night, start studying again. You're going to need to start solving those algorithms. The easiest way for you to get a 6-figure salary, for you to get a high 80, 90, whatever is a lot of money and is above the quote unquote market rate. So the market rate, you have to understand the market rate is for the average person. We've talked about this before. Average is a dirty word. We want to be better than average. We want to excel. You know how you make 50% more than the market average? You are 50% better than the market developer. That's how you do it. That's how you grow. To do that, you have to work harder than the average developer. You have to put in the hours. And the best way for you to get those fat checks, to work at those big companies that have the good benefits and can provide you a great life and looks good on your resume, you kill the technical interviews. You kill the phone interviews. You actually become very knowledgeable in things that they want you to be knowledgeable in. That's how you do it. And you work hard. and it's hard. I'm not going to tell you it's easy. You know, if I had to say, how long did I study to go and get a, you know, a large pay bump, a large offer? 4 months would be the answer. 4 months of, I'm just getting better. And that's not even counting the everyday shit that I was doing outside to get to this point, right? So you need to start studying. You need to get better. You need to read books. You need to solve algorithms. Kill those technical interviews. The big offers come. That's the easiest thing that you can do. Just kill the algorithms. Are you technically a senior developer now? No. I would say my work doesn't really have seniors. They have juniors and they have developers. Seniors isn't something that really exists at my current workplace. There's tech leads and then there's managers after that. And so tech leads are sort of managing a small team of like 2 or 3 devs that are, you're on the same team, but you lead the team. So I got promoted recently from a junior dev. I never should have been a junior to begin with. But you know, when they offer you more money and a different title, you sign the checks. You say, yo, you call me a bitch, you pay me right. You know, like I don't really care. But yeah, so when I renegotiated my contract, I got promoted to a developer, which is the same thing that the senior devs are at my workplace. In terms of skill, I would say I'm somewhere around there. It's, you know, it's all variance. I'm probably, if I were to grade myself, I am a upper mid developer. That's what I would say, and that's what my you know, my superiors have told me. Go for a small house, maybe. I mean, yeah. You guys that just signed a new deal, look, hey man, we out here shopping for houses. 2, 3, 4 years ago, we're sleeping on floors. Life is good, dude. I got no problem. Look, man, I'm happy. I like the people I work with. Love my life's in the other room. She's doing good. She's trying to figure her life out and continue growing in her own way. I got my cats. You know what I mean? Like, life is good. We're out here house shopping. We're out here looking at new cars. And by the way, these are not like things that the craziest thing is that I not only is like life getting better in the finance part of it, is like it is in the last 2 years have been phenomenal, and they're even better. It's one of those situations where we never had got a new car or bought a house, and life is good, man. If I never made $1 more than my first dev job, I'd be fine. Like I have no debt. We've been very smart with our money. I essentially saved my very first, like, in terms of what I have in the bank, it's basically minus rent money the first year of me working as a dev. So I could take 2 years off and be fine. You know, life is good, man. Why wouldn't I be happy? You know, everyone has hard parts and down parts. I'm good, man. Hey, good luck, R Storms, in your boot camp, man. How would you recommend studying to start? Just get started. I'd recommend doing like tutorials on like Codecademy, free code camp. But I think more than anything else, my number one thing for you would be first to just be consistent. Put an hour a day in to start and just grind. And after about 2, 3, 4 weeks, you're gonna need to go up to 2 to 4 hours. That'd be my advice. You've done 50 out of the 100 algorithms in the course so far. Nice for you, man. Right now, well, although I can do full stack, I've been doing front end for the last year. It's been really nice, man. So it's so funny because, like, you know how like you sort of understand CSS? Like for the last 2 years, I've sort of understand CSS in the sense that I can work with it. I don't want to say I've mastered CSS, but I have a much higher understanding of CSS in the last 3 to 6 months than I had the rest of my career, just because I've been able to focus on the front end and dive into a very front end heavy project these last 3 to 4 months. It's been really great. Could I go and do full stack? Yeah, I'd have to again. I'd just have to I'd have to just learn whatever languages, frameworks, and stuff that we work with, and just get comfortable. But at the end of the day, you just have to get comfortable with databases, understand sort of the architecture that goes with that, and that's when I talk about being a good generalist, a good specialist. I'm a specialist right now in the front end. Means that to be a good specialist, you have to be a great generalist. And so I'm reading a book about architecture right now. That's the book I'm reading, Clean Architecture. I think there's a link in the description. You want to hook a brother up with that 3% affiliate cut, right? So that's the book I'm reading. Because not only do you architect front end, but you architect back end. What book am I reading? What book am I going to continue reading after that? Code Complete, which is about full stack development and coding paradigms in front end, back end, the whole deal. Most of these books are about back end development in theory, in terms of the languages. But what book am I going to start reading after that? I'm going to read a book about REST APIs and what is a correct way of doing that. Because how I get better is by being I focus every day on being a specialist. Every day at work, I'm becoming a better specialist in the front end. So what am I doing outside of work? I'm becoming a better software engineer. I'm becoming a better generalist, because that's what's important. Because when they say, hey, man, this front end project's coming to, we're wrapping up the strings and we're going to move you to this other team. What do you think about doing full stack? Yeah, let's go, man. I'm already there. I just got to pick up C#. I just got to pick up .NET and go from there. So that's the thing. You just want to continue to grow. At what point was work wasn't challenging anymore? About after 1 year. There are challenges, certain projects that come along, but for the most part, you're always going to be challenged. Let me put it that way. You're always going to be challenged to solve things, and you're going to have issues and bugs that are going to confuse you and situations where you're like, why is this working like this? But it's not that it's hard. It's just you don't know. It's the things that get you stuck. Now, challenging, I think you mean, is when you have to sit and figure it out. You have to understand most of what work you'll be doing is building out e-commerce platforms, building a CRUD service that, for a back office tool. Very few things are very high science, very high tech, out of this world. Like, you're not typically solving problems that haven't been solved before, right? You know what I mean? Like the web apps you're going to be working on aren't going to be here to find out the meaning of the world and, the gravitational pull of a singularity of a black hole. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're going to be building things that people have built, maybe not your exact thing, but people have built before. And the things that are going to get you are going to be these weird things that you're like, I don't know what this error message means in the slightest. Let's see if I can figure it out. Those are the things that get you. And if you're doing web development, it might be IE. I almost lost my soul today when they said that we might have to start supporting IE again. I was like, God, no, please, no IE. You said we were doing IE. It was the best part about this project. Oh man, it hurt. I'm glad to hear that we're not though. I had a mini heart attack. For any of you guys who've ever had to support IE, whew. Man. Am I liking the front end? I'm loving it, man. I really am. It's been so good to be able just to focus on something. It's been phenomenal. It really has. And by the way, I forgot to say it, but James Shackelford with $2 donation doesn't even ask a question or anything. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. That's $2 towards my house. I appreciate that. What's IE? The devil. Do you think you'll create a software startup, or do you always plan on working for a company? I mean, I'm pretty happy working for a company. I know a lot of people hate it and whatnot, but like you get the right company that isn't breathing down your neck and you have the right boss and stuff like that. You know, it's not perfect, but I kind of already am slowly building out my own startup in the sense of YouTube, right? That's my side project that, you know, YouTube YouTube generates a mortgage payment, guys. Like that's kind of crazy, right? Like it's a crazy world to live in which your YouTube channel can pay your mortgage. Like that's pretty crazy to me. And so, my current company, I'm happy at, man. I enjoy it. I enjoy the upper management at the company. I have a good working relationship with the people who are my bosses, bosses, and my boss's boss and my boss. Like there are people from bottom to top for all my bosses, from my boss to his boss, uh, to her boss, the four like tiers of people. I like them all. That's a pretty good situation to be in. About how much I make monthly from YouTube? If you count sponsorships, ad revenue, somewhere between 2,000 and 2,500. Probably closer to 2,000 most of the time. That's about around where we're at. So all right. So Dark Wolf wants me to share some tips right here, and he donated $10. So we gotta answer this question because if you know anything, your boy's about to buy a house, and $10 is $10. So we need to answer this question fully. So, because I want to encourage you to donate $10 in the future. Yo, webcam, get it together. Webcam, what's going on here? There we go. So tips for looking for a job when you already have one, as well as in-person interviews. So the first thing that I could tell you is that most employers understand that the good employees already have jobs. If you were to sit around and ask the 10 devs that I work with how many had a job, how many were unemployed, and how many came out straight out of college, if memory serves me right, 7 out of 10 or so had a job. One was unemployed for a month, one came from college, or maybe around there. So that's the average developer. So when you most of the time they're pretty flexible with your schedule. Now you're going to have to come during work hours. So what I would tell you is that the way that you would handle that long drive to and from is, one, you would ask if doing remote is okay. So you do your phone interview remote. You would do you could do it on your phone. You could do your technical interview on a laptop, in an IDE, in a text editor. These are all things that workplaces will do. Sometimes you can't work around that, right? Sometimes you just gotta be there. So the way that you handle that is you go in the morning. They're usually, hey, can we, say you go to work normally at 8. You're going to go in a little bit late that day. You're going to be interviewing and stay a little late to make up those hours. So maybe you can set up that interview at 9. It lasts an hour. You're in the office by 10:30, and you say, okay, I'm going to stay late the next day and tonight to make up those hours, so I don't have to use any PTO, and make sure that I put my full 40 in. And that's what you do. And so you also have that option of leaving work early to say, okay, I gotta go home and run some errands, and whatnot. And then you go, and from 3, you leave at 3, and you stay late or come in early the next day to put in those 2 hours. That's what you do. You just, you say, hey, I gotta go get the orthodontist stuff done today, so I'm gonna be in a little late. I'm not saying lie, but lie. No, I'm not saying lie, but severely stretch the truth. Angular? What accent do I have? But yeah, so yeah, so I mean, you just The best tips I can give you is to schedule it early in the day or late in the day and just make up the hours as part of your normal schedule. People understand that you have things that you have to do, right? I I go in, I get my mouth done. Sometimes I have to go to the doctors. Sometimes I have to go run to the DMV like I did yesterday. By the way, I got my Florida license. I'm official Floridian. April and we got our Florida license. Excuse me. Been in Florida 2 years. Finally got our license. Well, that's what you do to work with your schedule. So that's what you do. And besides that, that's the easy part, man. The hard part is just preparing and being consistent and studying months in advance and continuing to grow and things like that. So but what about when you have to do it several times? Well, that's why you do like different interviews on a short span of time. So when it's one company, that's why you Yeah, April saying you say emergency. I don't like that one. That to me is rough. I don't like lying about family emergencies. But so what you do is you handle the ones on the phone that you can, and it sucks, and you can't always do it. But if it's close enough, you leave a little early for lunch. You come back a little later for lunch, right? You plan it around your lunch hour so that you can go then and come back, right? You had to run an errand. I mean, those are things that you can handle. That the hard part is just passing the interviews and being prepared. Work out the workplace to workplace driving time however you can, but handle it remotely if you can. Most people understand. Most people do, right? Have I ever lied during an interview? No. That serves you no purpose, right? Most people can tell when you're bullshitting them. And as someone who interviews people, if you don't know the answer to something, don't lie. Don't guess. Tell them, you know what, I don't know. Or if you're kind of on the fence and you're not completely sure what they're saying, say, you know what, I'm not 100% sure what you're asking or what you're saying, but my gut is this. And just be honest that you're kind of winging it, but do not lie. That's the worst thing you can do, man, because no one likes you for that. No one wants to deal with that. Is React too hard for juniors to learn? No. It's functional programming, which is sort of how React is, might be a little difficult. Do I think there's better web job opportunities in more popular places like Florida? I live in Kansas. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the Kansas market. I can just tell you that I would be considered a very motivated candidate, a candidate that companies would be interested in because I'm learning, because of my side projects, because the video that I'm going to release on Monday is called What I Learned My Second Year as a Developer and what my accomplishments are that I could even remember. And you're going to see what I accomplished in this 1 year. And if you're doing something similar, you'll be like, you know what? I can see why people are interested in Dylan. And you should have that same mentality with you. And just in 1 year, how far you can go. Just 1 year, how far you can go with just hard work. And that's really what it is at the end of the day. You can't do object-oriented programming with React only functional. I believe React, and I'm not a React expert, but I believe React and how it's set up using Redux is a very functional programming type of framework. And that's sort of how it's supposed to be. Seems like every job in my market, Los Angeles, requires a degree. A lot of places say that. A lot of places say required. My last workplace said it. They still hired me. And when I decided to part ways with them, and I wasn't interested in a counteroffer, because it was a somewhat high stress workplace, and although I did appreciate them giving me my first chance, and I gave them as much notice as I could, it was one of the situations where in that case I didn't want a counteroffer, and I was moving on to better things. they wanted to keep me because not only did they hire me without a degree, because I could see I put in the work, and I'll forever be grateful to Sam for that. But they wanted to keep me, and they gave me my first shot, right? My first shot as a full-time salary dev, right? And paying me a lot more money at the time than I was making. When you go from making $45,000 in Los Angeles to 62 in Florida for your very first web dev job, it's quite a pay bump. You're feeling like you're balling hard. Let me tell you, lower cost of living. And nowadays I'm much higher than that, but that was a life-changing event for me. And that was just 2 years ago. 2 years ago, that was a life-changing event, an absolutely life-changing event for me. Going from 45,000 to 62 and moving to Florida, getting that very first software job. I packed my car up. I packed my little 3-cylinder Mitsubishi Mirage up to the top, sold everything else I had that couldn't be in that car, and I drove my ass like 3,000 plus miles from Los Angeles, Florida to Tampa, Los Angeles, California, to Tampa, Florida. Been killing it ever since. And degree, no degree, I never even met the people. We didn't do a voice call. We didn't do like a face-to-face. We didn't, I didn't fly out. I did the technical interview. I did the phone calls. I sent that offer. I didn't even counter it. I just signed that shit, sent it in. I put my 2 weeks notice in that day. I said, put me in. I'm ready, baby. If there is one thing I've been working for, is for this opportunity. Better believe it, man. Oh, man. That's why when people are like, hey, I want to stay in my city. I don't care what you want to do, dude. Go and get 5 years experience and go back to your city, right? It's just one of those things. I want to tell you, how much sleep do I get on average? About 8 to 9 hours a day. No, I wasn't working an internship. I wasn't working an internship in LA. I was working as a technology trainer doing technical documentation and like a business analyst sort of role. Did I use a recruiter to get your Florida job? No, I just applied. Seattle's my dream market state. So as someone who has had an offer in Seattle, I've had an offer in Seattle that matches my current offer. And I'm balling hard in Florida. The cost of living compared in St. Petersburg, Florida, compared to Seattle, Washington, it's a 64% cost of living increase. So my advice to you is, on that salary, I could get a 2-bedroom apartment in Seattle, or in Tampa, Florida, I could buy a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,000 square foot house just fine. So, everyone's got to live their life and lifestyle something, but, you might want to reconsider. Seattle's beautiful, though. When I was interviewing with Microsoft out there, I was like, damn, man, this city's nice. I miss mountains, man. That was the craziest thing. I've been around mountains my whole life. There's no mountains in Florida, dude. You can barely find a dirt hill in Florida. I did miss mountains, but hey, what are you gonna do, man? I give up mountains and Mexican food for a good quality of life, be able to buy a house, invest, save, take care of the family. Go on. So let's see here. People that freak out about technical interviews are just people who aren't prepared. They're usually not that hard. Now there's harder ones than others, right? When I interviewed with Microsoft, I did 7 interviews or so, and from like 10 a.m. to about 6:15 p.m. And of those 7, I did technical interviews. I want to say at 6 of them. And one was like the manager, where it's just kind of talking to me, see if I was a good fit. and and of those 6, I probably did 3 apiece, 3 to 4 apiece. So I did, was that somewhere between 18 to 24 algorithms at the Microsoft interview. That was the roughest. It wasn't, so on that, I probably batted like 40 to 50% on that. The ones I really sort of bombed were like, solve this using binary search, solve this using, most of the time you're not going to get someone who wants to solve it in like a very CS heavy algorithm. It's going to be something like, hey, reverse a palindrome. It's going to be something like, hey, do fizz buzz, you know what I mean? Something like that, where you're going to do that. What else have I seen? Dude, there's so many different ones. I've had people want me to rewrite the map function. I've had people want me to return a list of all the characters two strings have in common and the counts of them. When I interviewed with Google, they wanted me to rewrite promise.all, like take promise.all, or I forget the prompt, but essentially the promise method in JavaScript that I've been using async and await too long that I forgot what it is. But the one where you take in a bunch of promises and you wait till they all resolve, he wanted me to rewrite that. When I interviewed with Amazon the first time, it was writing something. You take in a file path name and then you were supposed to parse it in a certain way. The second time it was, you take in a string. No, you take in a data object and they want you to print it out as JSON indented properly. That was another thing that happened. What are some other ones? We want you to solve 2 algorithms, FizzBuzz and something else, but you got to do it in 2 languages that aren't what we're going to be working in. One was like Rust and one was Python. I've had multiple different take-home interviews. God, it's I don't know, man. I've had so many nowadays that it's, if I were to do the interviews with Microsoft, I'd do better. If I took the time to study and just memorize binary search and binary search tree, breadth first search, yeah, I'd probably do pretty good. I just had that was the only thing, is I just had to memorize these CS algorithms I haven't touched since I was back in school. Are recruiters like Reviture legit? I don't know, man. Colorado, I might, man. Maybe one day what I might go do. So a lot of you guys know that I don't really talk about it too much because unfortunately it won't happen. But I would love to actually teach part-time, be like a part-time web dev teacher at a college or something like that. But unfortunately, because I don't have a bachelor's and I won't ever get one at this point in my life, I'm never going back to school. A workplace would have to pay me so much money to go back. They'd have to be like, look, Dylan, we're going to pay for your bachelor's and we're going to bump you. We're going to make you the manager of the whole department. and it comes with a $50K raise. Like, they would have to bribe me so hard to go back to school. It would not even be funny. It would not. Oh my goodness. It'd be like, what are you doing? Why is this guy like it? I'd be like, are you sure? Are you sure you want me to go get a degree this bad? That's how much I would just have to be bought. Like it would take so much. So my point being that, for me, I like teaching, man. I like being able to mentor people and see people who are passionate and make them better. And that's what I like doing and that's why I like doing these AMAs is I want to make you better. I want to make sure you succeed, and a good teacher helps people do that. And so I think I would enjoy it. I think I'd be good at it. Unfortunately, it won't ever happen at a college because I don't have a degree. And one thing that I might do at some point in my career, let's just say 5-10 years from now, I might go teach at a boot camp. Don't need a degree to do that. and honestly, you'll probably make 3 to 4 times what a professor would make for the most part at like a community college. But that might be something I would do. How do you get time off from work to go for a full day on-site interview? Use the PTO, use the sick day. How do I learn algorithms? What resources do I use? I just use like algorithm sites like Code Fights, Code Signal. Yeah, so recently. Oh. Let me go grab some more water real quick, guys. So, you guys want to hear a funny story about the DMV? So, I look like I look, right? How can I put this? I look like I look, and so I'm at the DMV, and I have to pay about $400 in fees, and I have like a StarCraft shirt on. I'm in like flip flops. I'm in like the $10 Costco shorts I'm wearing, and she's like talking to me. She's like talking to me, like she's talking to me about, she's breaking down the bills, and she's talking to me like, you know, you can pay the license fees first if you don't have money for the title and this and I'm used to. Here's the thing, man. I don't feel the need to like dress nice. I don't feel the need, like my car out there is missing a hubcap, right? You know, I don't feel the need to sort of showcase that I am. I completely get profiled all the time. People, you know, I got the braces going on, right? Every time I go to these new construction places, within a minute, they ask me if I'm pre-approved or what I do for a living. So anyhow, I've been going to the casino a little bit lately, right? I've been going to the casino a little bit lately, and so I've been winning some money. I don't go too often, but she's talking down to me a little bit, and not talking down to me, but she's trying to tell me like how like I don't have to pay all this right now, and I'm just like looking at her, and I was like, no, it's all right, and I just sort of pull out my wallet, and I was like, no, no, it's okay. I just start counting it out, right? I start counting it out on her, right? I was like, yeah, no, it's cool. I don't flex on her too hard. But I was like, no, it's fine. I can pay it right now. And her whole demeanor changed right there. And she looked a little stunned. And I swear to God, I don't think she thought that I had a job. I think she thought I was a drug dealer. Like, I think that's what it was. And I remember thinking, I remember thinking, like, you know, I was like, nah, yeah. I pulled out, you know, the cheddar a little bit, and you know, sometimes you gamble and win. But I don't know. I thought that was funny because I get profiled all the time, especially when I go house hunting. But very, very seldom do you get to just pull out a little bit of cash on them, you know. It's so funny too, holding cash like this, because I never have any cash. Like this is going in the bank tomorrow. I just happened to be at the casino And it's going in the bank account. So no one come to my house, you crazy fucks. They ain't gonna be here. So yeah, so it feels like a shit ton of money, right? It really does. But it feels like a lot of money. But I don't really who gets cash anymore, right? So that's I'm holding this in my pocket and I'm feeling good, right? And then the thought hits me like, that's not even a paycheck. Why am I feeling so good, right? Why am I feeling like I felt for like the first time in my life, I was balling. You know what I mean? Like, I don't remember the last time I had that type of cash on me. I felt like I was balling hard. And then I thought about it for like a second, right? After this woman profiled the shit out of me. And by the way, she disrespected me like that in front of April. April sitting right next to me in there. Sitting right next to me in there. And like, you gotta disrespect me in front of my girl? Like, come on, lady. Like, but I felt like I was balling pretty hard just having the cash on, because you never cash. But it's like, it's strange how things just come, because like it's been a crazy world, because April and I sort of reflect on time to time and are grateful for, you know, the hard work, and the harder I've worked, the luckier I've been, all the luck that comes with it. And it wasn't too long ago that you know, we pulled out the wallet and this was all that was there, right? It wasn't too long ago, and then this was all that was there, and then this was all that was there, and then we bought our last dollar burrito that was spicy as shit and blew your boy's booty hole out, but we had to eat it because we had no other food. You know what I mean? Like, but it's been a crazy ride, man. And so, you know, the amount of cash I have right here, which isn't even a paycheck, is more than I had in my bank account from the age of 18 to probably 25. Think about that. Probably 16 to 25. Think about that. The money that I just have in here that I just casually won at a casino, you know, playing around a little bit, that I won probably within 4 hours at a casino over 2 or 3 trips. That money, just this cash right here, which is less than what I spent on my computer that I paid cash for, is more money than I had in my bank account from the age of 16 to about 26, 27. Feels good. feels good. All right. And I want you to feel that way. All right. Money isn't everything, but it is something. It allows me to say, you know what, Mom? You need a place to stay? Come on over. I got a room for you. It says, hey, brother, you know, I know if things are hard, you need a place to stay, get on your feet. I got a room for you. You can stay here, save up some money, get it together. You know, it says, hey, baby, you don't like your job? Go ahead and quit it and study towards your master's. Money gives you options. And so having a good job that you can go and work hard, and the people that you work with, and life is good, man. So if some of you think I don't look, I look good, I'm happy, it's because I am happy, man. And money's just one part of it. Having supportive family and loved ones nearby is another part of it. And strutting on that bitch at the DMV is another part of it. Because I'm sick of getting disrespected at these home properties. Motherfucker. What? Every time. You know, have you got pre-approved yet? Yes. For more than this, for more than the highest house you sell for. Okay? So keep it moving. All right. You know, shit. What's your job? A great one. It's not your goddamn business. Stop disrespecting me. All right. I don't need to drive a BMW and take 40 grand in debt for you to respect me. I'm sorry. All right. My $8 shirt from Jinx and my $8 pants from Costco, guess what? That put money in the bank. All right. Sick of the disrespect. Oh man. Anyhow, I thought that was a funny story. I'd share with you guys. It happens every time. It happens every time. Every single time. So much so that I want to test this theory and like show up in a suit. Like just show up like pure decked out in a suit and working clothes and just see if they ask me if I'm pre-approved and see if they ask me what I do for a living. That's what I want to see. You know what I'm going to say? You know what I should say? I work at Taco Bell. That's what I should say. I should just bullshit them the whole time we're there. And like, what do you do? You know, I'm a cashier at Taco Bell. Like, no disrespect to any of you guys in the grind, by the way, but you know, from a logistics standpoint, you work at Taco Bell, you work at McDonald's as a cashier. You can't buy a, you know, $250,000 house, $350,000 house, and just see what they're gonna. Yeah, we got 11 of us. There's 11 of us on this pre-approval. You know, it's like, you know, the KFC on 3rd, all of us are going in on a property together. You think it'd be okay to pay the mortgage and coin change? You know, just start fucking with them. I'm getting real sick of it. It happens every time, every single time, every single time. Yeah, man. You think I'm over here window shopping? Like, shit. Have I worked any project I hated? So I wouldn't say the project that I hated. There hasn't really been a project that I hated. There's been situations that were unfortunate, is how I put it. At my previous workplace, they would kind of chase the shiny object. And what I mean by that is they were always trying to land the deal. And so like it would immediately change priorities and it was always not planned very well. And we would just have to always change things and things would go to the back burner of this, but then they'd be upset that it's on the back burner. And in that instance, it's rough, but money can't buy a good PR review. You better believe it can. But it's one of those situations, man, where in life you sort of have those times where the good workplace becomes the bad workplace because of stress in the company, stress in the department, whatever it may be. And it's rough. So it's, let's see, is there ever one project I really hated? If you're in here, you're in the top 10% of developers. You are if you keep coming back, Kevin. Oh, shit. Are my parents shocked at how successful I am? No. They don't. I don't think they think I'm very successful. Let's see. I'll clear with YouTube somewhere around 135 to 140 this year. I'm self-taught. I have a successful YouTube channel. I have no debt, but I ain't got a college degree, so they think I'm a loser. uh, oh shit! No, I don't think they think I'm a loser. They don't. My dad and my mom don't really understand what I do. They know I'm doing well. It's hard to say that you're successful. I don't feel successful. I feel like I've made good choices and worked hard, and even making like decent money right now, it still doesn't feel like I haven't been making decent money for very long. So it always feels like it could slip through your fingers at any moment, which is why I've been very hesitant about balling out of control on like a house or a car or things like that. Cause we need a second car and I'll probably buy one. From CarMax Cash for like 13, 14 grand or something like that. And I've been looking at getting like a Mitsubishi SUV. But I don't know, man. I mean, when you tell them things like you got a 40% raise, or you tell them things like, you're buying a 5-bedroom, 3-bath house. I think it starts painting a picture. But my mom today my mom today, if you were to ask her what her son does, she'd say he makes websites, which makes it sound like I don't do anything. And I do make websites, but it's such an oversimplification of shit. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things where I mean, they know I'm doing good, and I think that's what matters. Whether they think I'm successful, whether I don't know. It's hard to even consider myself successful, because it's like, what is your criteria for success? Am I doing well? Absolutely. Um, yeah, it's like the dentist mom saying he plays with teeth, right? How far to 50K subs? I think we're like 500 people away. Your parents should be proud of that. My father, I think, has watched one video because my stepmom put it on, and I don't think my mom's watched a single video on my YouTube channel ever. What part of the U.S. am I in? I'm in the Tampa area. Yeah, I mean, I am meeting my goals. I guess I don't know, man. So it's saying that you're successful is kind of like saying that it's like the same thing where I don't ever say that I've mastered anything. Like, I'd rather say that I'm proficient in something, meaning that I can work in it and that I'm decent at it, I'm good at it. But the master seems to imply that there's nowhere left to go. While I feel like the same thing is true about being successful, it's like, am I doing well? Absolutely. I'm every year for the last 4 years, financially, in terms of position in life, in terms of happiness, I've been doing better every single year. The goals I've set out to accomplish, I have done that. And I'm doing very well. But to be successful, I feel like it would require me to be doing so well on another level that to be successful, for me to tell you that I'm successful would mean that not only do I have a house, but it is paid off, and I have several investment properties of which I would never have to work another day in my life if I didn't want to. That is my criteria for success. So give me about 5 to 10 years. Give me maybe closer to 10 years, and I would say that I'm successful. When I have multiple income properties or a business or two, and I'm bringing in I don't know, a smooth 100K of passive income with barely any work other than making sure I send a repairman over, or continuing to put in the. So here's like the crazy thing about YouTube, right? So YouTube makes me. I'll clear around 30 to 40K in YouTube if we were to start today to here. That 30 to 40,000 that YouTube makes me, granted, it's taken 3.5 years to get there, but nowadays I put in about 10 hours a week. 10 hours a week into YouTube, and it's a great profile. It's done more for my that 30 to 40K that's going to make me in this next year. That's awesome, but it's done more than that in terms of my salary, in terms of getting my career started, than that money has ever made me in the past. So is YouTube successful? Is the YouTube channel successful? What do you call success? Is it money? Is it subscribers? Is it, what it's done for your career? I would say it's been successful, but a lot of people would say that you put out 800 some odd videos, you don't even have 100,000 subscribers. That sounds like a failure to me. It's like, you could have an argument there. You really could. And I'd respect your argument. Yeah. So, I mean, what is success, right? So am I in a better position than most people? Yes. Did I work hard to get there? Absolutely. Did I make good financial choices? Yes, I did. Have I made bad financial choices? Of course I have. The reason that I have one credit card that I've only made 3 purchases on in the last year is because I had 3 or 4 credit cards 10 years ago, which I made multiple purchases on, couldn't afford, and ruined my credit. So, I understand good financial habits. I understand bad financial habits. When I bought my car, basically cash, and I got the smallest, most economical, high MPG car, is because I've had expensive cars with car payments, high insurance that break down a lot. So what did I go for? I went for something with 44 miles to the gallon. I went with something that was 13 grand brand new with a 100,000 mile warranty, because all the same things that I tell people not to do, I have done. The key is to learn from your mistakes. That's the key. And I have no problem telling people about my mistakes. I was telling my at an outing with some of the upper bosses type people, like, yeah, when I was 17, I got drunk and got a tattoo, and I've been getting it lasered off for like 8 years. That's something y'all probably don't know. Do I have any other tattoos? No. I made a horrible mistake. I've been paying for it ever since. So, yeah. So, these things happen, right? We all make mistakes. It took me until I was about 26 to say, you know what? I'm sick of being broke, man. I'm sick of being hungry. I'm sick of being in school and being miserable and depressed. These are things that happen. These are mistakes that I have made, that I have learned from. You could go out and make mistakes, because the quicker you make the mistakes, the less time you have to worry about not making mistakes. And, if you make mistakes, hopefully you'll learn. The people who get screwed over are not the people who are making mistakes. It's the people who are so afraid of mistakes that when they make them, they repeat them. So don't repeat the mistakes. I will say it does bother me a little bit that my parents don't watch my YouTube channel. My father loves us both to death without a doubt, but he definitely is much more interested in my brother's life than he is in mine. And it's because my brother lives a much more a similar life to my father. They're big in music, and they sort of both were hippies at that age and traveled the world. I took a less traditional path. When you take a less traditional path, it's going to be less understood. I went down the path of corporate America, of money, of working my way up and grinding and doing the money thing, so that I could set myself up into a position to travel the world, but have something when I come back, I suppose. Any tips for learning JavaScript on Free Code Camp? Really just start. Make it one of many aspects of your learning. Do the Codecademy JavaScript, do the Free Code Camp JavaScript, do the tutorials on YouTube that go over JavaScript. Start diving full on in and start there. That would be my thing. And just every day. Consistency is the number one thing. Are there a lot of software dev jobs? I mean, I had a couple different offers recently. That means a lot. It's all about, look, man, it's all about you. Is it hard to get a job? It's hard to get a job everywhere. Is it harder than any other city? I don't think so. I think it's probably about the same. Are you scared of tornadoes destroying the house that you buy? No, not really. Yeah. Craig, you've had your channel for a week. I've had my channel for 3.5 years. I don't know if my mom's ever even been on YouTube. I mean, Engineer Truth will tell you the same thing, right? He's been doing YouTube full time for many, many years. And the guy's gonna make like $250,000 this year off YouTube. And he's bought a condo in the Philippines, and like even then his parents are like, when are you going back to engineering? But I think recently they finally like, all right. Yeah. It happens though, man. And here's the thing. When you're happy with yourself, you don't need validation from others. So like, I'm very happy. I understand that I'm hard to be around, and that I'm not like the average person, and most devs aren't. They're a little bit more closed off. They're a little bit more logical than most people. They're a little bit more brutal, I would say, at times, and they see the world in a more number oriented. Well, so way rather for So Craig, here's the thing, man. The reason that I'm worried about you right now is because you're displaying a characteristic that I worry about people. So when people are looking for when people go and watch motivational videos, that's good. It's good to be motivated. But the problem is that you really shouldn't need to be motivated by anybody but you. You know, if you're passionate about the things that are there, you shouldn't need someone to give you that temporary motivation. You should already have it. And that's a hard thing to have. Like for me, I was sick of being broke. I was sick of being hungry. I was sick of being miserable. And I made a choice not to be that. And I had to I had to drop out of school. No one was happy about that. I had to go my own path. And no one except April supported me. And maybe Matt, who said, hey, man, do you. All right. So it's one of those things where when you let me put it this way in my situation, because that's all I can really speak to. Not everyone's going to understand your situation except you, right? For the most part. And I don't need the validation of anyone. I know I've worked hard. I've been here the whole way. Your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, even your significant other, they're there for the ride sometimes, But at the end of the day, I clawed my way to where I wanted to be. And I'm proud of myself for doing that. And so I don't need my mother to be proud of me. Do I want it? Yes. I don't need my father to be proud of me. Would I like it? Of course I would. Why not? Who doesn't want to be have parents who are proud of them? But you know who I'm proud of? Me. I'm proud of myself because I've been here the whole way. I know. Look, man, I get it. It sucks. It sucks. and it's hard to be there for yourself. I am proud of myself. And in the few times where I wasn't, I had a good woman next to me to remind me that I should be. And that's all I need. All right. That's all I need at the end of the day. So I'm doing, I did all this for me. I worked hard for me. I was here. I was the one crying because I felt like a loser. I was the one having my mom bring me groceries, being disgusted with myself that I let my life come to this. I was the one sleeping on couches and floors. I was the one going to school, being miserable. I was the one who dropped out of college, even though I knew I'd be success and had everyone shaking their head telling me, "What the fuck are you doing, Dylan?" I was there the whole way. I'm proud of myself because I know every step it's been here. It's easy to say a number. You've been working on a YouTube channel for 3.5 years. I've been working every day on this channel for 3.5 years. That's consistency. I'm proud of me. My mom doesn't even need to understand what YouTube is. That's okay. She doesn't have to understand that. It's enough for me to know that her son is doing well. I'm proud of myself. And because of that, I don't need anyone else to be proud of me. And you should have that same mentality. And when you do, and you're not looking for someone to pat you on the back, pat yourself on the back, right? That's not going to mean that you're not going to have rough days. That's not going to mean you're not going to have days you don't want to get up and you don't want to do it. It happens all the time, man. I'm struggling with it right now. All right? But you work through it. You find ways to go about it. You change it up. It's be proud of yourself, and that'll be the only motivation you need, man. So stop looking for the external validation and start respecting yourself and start understanding that if you like yourself and if you're motivated, you're the only motivation you need, man. When you first start self-learning, how do you juggle learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and also learning how getting GitHub works at the same time? In pieces, man. It's a strange journey, but I just try to consume as much as I could. In my case, when I first started learning, when I first started my channel like 3.5, 4 years ago, I just did every single tutorial they had, every single one. I just wanted to start changing the way my brain thought process started. And so I did every single Codecademy tutorial. I worked through it, every single thing they had at the time. That's why I had like 300 videos the first year I worked through it. I just worked through it and I started thinking about it. And from there, I moved to Free Code Camp and Code Combat. And Free Code Camp really put it all together for me, right? It's like started building projects. And it's such a crazy thing because it never occurred to me, right? So I'm doing all these tutorial sites. But when I started building in projects, that's when I fell in love with it. It was really, up until then, it just seemed like a good career choice. But I started falling in love with it. And so for me, it's always just been about that consistency, that daily work, and building out the projects. The projects is really how it clicked, because the projects give you, the tutorials are good because it gets you a practice, gets you a thing, gets you introduced to a lot of things that maybe you don't know exist, right? The projects make you sit down and start thinking like a developer, start breaking out a project. Okay, I have the weather API. What do I have to do? Okay, well, I need to display the weather, right? There's a number there, Celsius and Fahrenheit. Okay, there's an API, so I have to connect to the API. So I gotta get the data. So step one, what's step one? I have to get the data. All right, cool. How do I do that? And then you start piecing it together. You're like, okay, I have the data now. How do I put it on the screen? How do I get the data in the JavaScript into the HTML? How do I do that? I got the data. How do I get to the HTML? And then you go and you start working through it, right? There's no tutorial to show it to you. They might have showed you how to do that, but now you have to think how to put it together on your own, right? And then you start putting it together, and it's like, all right, I got the data. It's on the screen, but it looks like shit. How do I get the data, put it on the screen, and make it not look like shit? And then you start going to the CSS, and those projects really tie together. And then you go, all right, I got the data. I put it on the screen. It looks good now, but it's time for bed. How do I save my code? And he's like, well, what if I'm broke as shit? My computer costs $70. It might blow up any moment. What do I do? And then you go, okay, I got the data. It looks like shit. It looks good on the page now. Oh, no, I got the data. It's on the screen. It looks like it looks good now. I got to go learn Git. How does Git work? And then you go, sweet, I learned Git. All right, and now you go, I got the next morning. The code's on Git. And then you go, you know, and then you go, all right. Then you look back at, you wake up in the morning, you're awake, your code is here. You're like, what the fuck is this code I wrote? And then you go, and you say, what do I do next? And then you spend, all right, yesterday, where was I? All right, I got the data. I put it on the screen. It looks good. What's next? I got to convert the data. How do I convert the data? All right. So I got the Celsius. I need to do the Fahrenheit. How do I get the Fahrenheit? And then you go, I Google formula to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. Okay. I got the Celsius. I apply the Fahrenheit. How do I put it on the screen? I look at my code. That's how I put it on the screen. Replicate. It's literally, and it's funny, but this is how it goes. You start thinking like this, right? You start thinking about, hey man, like this is how, like this is the learning process. And it's funny now, right? It's funny now, but like you have to understand, for me, that weather API project, here's the thing. Some of you guys think I'm a great developer. I'm good now. I'm all right now. But like, the grind wasn't that long ago, right? The time when, like, you know what? I don't know what an API is. I don't know. Where I'm sitting here, I'm reading the free code camp thing, and I'm like, how do I get the data? How do I get the data? How the fuck I'm over here? And it's frustrating, right? I remember, I don't know about you, but when I first started learning programming, I just didn't get things. It's angry. I go full ape. All right. I'm like, how do I get the data? Step one's get the data. How do I get this data? And I'm spending all weekend trying to understand how I'm supposed to get the data. How do I get the data? And then I spend 40 hours on the weekend, and then I go into work. I said, look, I say, God, what's my old coworker's name? Oh my God. Ethan. I say, Ethan, how do I get the data? And in 30 seconds, Ethan goes, well, this is just a route to an API. An API is like a URL that sends you data. And so what you have to do is you have to get the data through like a HTTP GET call in jQuery. In 30 seconds, Ethan says that to me. And then I get it. It clicks. And I knock that motherfucker out that night, baby. That's how that shit works. It just clicks, right? And you know how it clicks? Because I've been thinking about everything along the process of how I get the data, I put it on the screen, it looks like shit, I make it look better, I save the code, I convert the data, but these things, there's steps to your skill level. And sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. And a good teacher, a good person can explain it to you. That's a real story. I'm not bullshitting you, man. I'm in my 400 square foot room on the whiteboard saying, I get the data. I get it, man. I get the data. I'm drawing. I get the data. I put it on the screen, and I'm drawing it out. Right. I'm mocking it out. I put it on the screen, and then no, I didn't knock Ethan out. I knocked the project out that night. It didn't look great, but I did knock it out. But APIs were something I just didn't understand. I didn't understand how to, like, I understood if I put the URL in there, I was like, the data's in the URL. How do I get it on? How do I get the data? Like, I put it in the browser. It's there. How do I get it here in my text editor? But I mean, it sounds basic, right? It really does. But when you're new, right? When you're new and you don't get it, you don't get it. And it I mean, it's 3.5, 4 years ago, right? It's not that long ago. Let's see. If it was probably the first month and a half I was at Education Dynamics was 3 years ago. This is 3 years ago. I didn't know how API worked. 3 years ago, I was still learning code. I had just dropped out of college. Is Ethan still there? No, Ethan left to go work at a what's that company? You know those companies that like make clothes for like social media sites and stuff like that? He went to go work at one of those companies. Left for like a $30,000 raise, something like that. God bless his soul. Was that my first dev job? No, that. No. Hey guys, just to be clear, if you are not able to get the data, if you can't get the data, you can't get the job. All right. So that was not my first dev job. You know. I don't remember the name of the company, but it's like Teespring or Cafe Press. It's one of those companies. I think they're based in Santa Monica, but I wonder if he ever got his blog going. So what was my first job? My first job was my previous workplace, where my previous workplace where they built software for the training exercises for the department. They ran training exercises for the Department of Defense. That was their niche. They helped to run it, and they were starting a software department to help build that out, to help build that part of their business, to expand upon their business. So get the data. Would I have hired you for your first job today? It depends. For a junior role, yes. For a role at my current company, we don't really hire juniors. A junior dev at the end of the day is a dev that needs to be watched, time spent with. And a lot of companies just don't have that time. A lot of companies are like, look, dude, you got 30 days to 30 to 90. We need you up and running at most in 90 days. Like, that's what most companies are like. We need you up and running, a contributing member of this team in 90 days. And the unfortunate part about juniors is most companies want people who aren't junior. So you have to not become junior. And you cannot become a junior by doing the same shit I did. Just put in the hours, put in the work, continue to get better, continue to grow, continue and learn. solve algorithms, build projects. These are the things that you can do. You need to be self-sufficient, and not every company doesn't want to put time into with juniors, but most don't. So would I have hired me? I would have been very interested in me because I personally like people who are learners and continue to grow. But I can't say 100% I would have hired me. Didn't you do some freelance stuff before? Yes, I did a little bit of freelance. I remember you telling me a story about getting yelled at once. Yes. So I was working for this company. They were like a high-end furniture rental company, where they had a WordPress site that was just butchered beyond belief. Like, ugh. Anyhow, so they were a high-end furniture rental company. They would throw on events at like they would throw like large events, like concert events for like the awards shows and things like that. And so they basically had a big factory of furniture and a bunch of interns that they didn't pay that were like fashion interns and things like that. And I worked primarily with the guy's girlfriend, and anyhow, so I worked at this time. I was getting paid $20 an hour, and I was putting in about 10 hours a week, and they said they didn't want me to put in more than 16 hours at a time. So it was just a part-time side gig, and I was still in school at the time, and that was helping me. This is one of my mini jobs I had. I also delivered pizzas, and I also on the weekends I did construction and occasionally lift. And I want to say this was before I started my YouTube channel, so I'm pretty sure it was. So I'm probably about 24 at this time, maybe 23. And I would go in once a week. I would go in once a week to their office because that was one of the things they wanted. They wanted me to go into the office once a week for about 4 hours and work on some stuff. And they would ask me, some things, and we'd get, all right, this one I'll work on, blah blah blah. So anyhow, I never actually met this dude that owned the company, ran the company, whatnot. But he calls me in the office. Yeah, man, we want you to build this site, blah blah blah. I said, cool, and that's fine. And I come back the next week, and I don't know what it was, but he seemed a nice enough guy at the time. He kind of had little man syndrome, I think, is what I chopped it up to at the end of the day. He's in a position of power, and he's just one of those guys that I think like picking on employees because it made him feel important at the end of the day. It's just not someone you want to work for. He was nice enough the first time, but he must have been in a bad mood the second time. But he starts popping off about how I'm not working the 16 hours. I was like, you guys told me to put in no more than 16 hours. So like he started like legitimately, it's me, his girlfriend who helps manage the company, starts popping off on me. I'm like sitting down. He starts yelling, why isn't this done yet? Blah, blah, blah. What's going on? I was like, you told me to work 16 hours. I worked like 12. What did you think the site was going to get done in no time? Well, it starts going anyhow. So, for the most part, I'm just quiet. I was like, yeah, you said, oh, this amount of hours, blah, blah, blah. And, there's only so much I can get done in a reasonable amount of time. And I've been working on the other things that you've had me work on. You wanted me to work with your hosting company to expand your rates. You wanted me to take care of your security certificate. You wanted me to fix some styles on your site. I'm doing all that too. And anyhow, so I'm very respectful throughout the whole thing because I'm just anytime someone like starts getting crazy with me, I'm just more stunned by anything else because I'm a pretty mellow dude and I'm not a very like threatening dude in person. Like I'm not one of those. I'm like one of those people that like girls would walk through the park with me and not even be remotely assume that I'd like take their purse or like attack them. You know what I mean? Like they'd be like, I fuck Dylan up. I ain't worried about it. I'm not worried about it at all. Right? Like I'm not that guy. I'm like, I'm a very quiet, mellow person for the most part. So when people start getting crazy, I just sort of, I don't really shut down, but I just start smiling and nod. So yeah, man. Anyhow, so I go home later. I quit. I just sent an email. I sent an email later after this guy popped off on me. And to the girlfriend and I say, you know what? I don't think this is going to be a relationship that's going to work out long term. I thank you for the opportunity. But no thanks, basically. And she offers to raise my pay to $25, which is a 25% raise. Going from 20 to 25 is a huge pay jump, right? So she offers me to bump my pay to 25 and also says I don't have to come into the office anymore. To which that wasn't enough to keep me. So I hit her with, I have a lot of other opportunities going on right now. I think 35 an hour would do it though. And she said that they couldn't go that high. And I said, well, thank you for your time. And I was like, look, your boy's got 3 other jobs. You better believe he ain't gonna deal with one with a shitty boss, right? So that's the one boss that popped off on me. I'll tell you right now, man. $25 an hour as a contract employee ain't worth it to put up with some idiot. That's the type of idiot who you would build him a phenomenal site that he said he wanted and then would be upset with it and just yell at you and not pay you. It's not worth it, man. This was back in California, yeah. I mean, Craig, do your thing, man, but typically at the end of the day, it's usually considered bad taste to promote your own channel and someone else's channel. That's all, man. I mean, I got nothing but love for other people sharing their software channels, but hey, I'm not trying to like steal all the subscribers, but yeah, no, I got you, man. Do your thing. Am I 6 feet tall? Yeah, I'm 6 feet tall. No, I get you, Craig, man. I mean, I've had a lot of strange jobs. I used to tutor this like 8-year-old in code for $50 an hour. It's probably the best gig I had. It was only an hour and a half a week, but look, man, $75 when you're broke as shit. Whew. I love that job. That was a good job. That was just an hour and a half tutoring, but shit, man, $50 an hour to tutor a girl in coding. That's cool. I would meet at their parent. So their parents had a law firm that was on the floor below, and this was in Pasadena. And on the floor above, they lived. Like it was a fully decked out, beautiful sort of suite. And yeah. I mean, the parents were like lawyers, so. I just got my first gig in Florida early this year and ended up getting another offer in Texas for $25K more per year. That's the thing, guys, right? You work your way up, right? So you slowly, the most important thing is to get better and to get that resume experience. So you gotta grind your way up. All right, guys. Any last minute things before I hit the hay? It's getting kind of late for me. It's been fun. Usually we cut these short a little bit. We do about an hour. How long have we been going today? An hour and 35 minutes. Oh my God, I'm treating you. I'll go for about another 5 minutes, man. If you guys have any last minute questions, who I got as of now, Woodley or Till? I think Woodley's gonna win it. I don't really like Till. I just like Woodley less. Yeah. Be a little less responsible. I know I got a 4-day weekend, right? Yeah. I don't know. Here's the thing, man. I got three sponsored videos I gotta do, and I got some contract work I got a little bit of a research on. Am I gonna watch Khabib vs. Conor? You better believe it. Really enjoying the algorithms course. Lots of fun. Thank you, man. If you guys are interested in the 100 algorithm challenge so that you can also get high offers and good offers and kill those technical interviews, $9.99 description below. Help your boy buy a house. It's a great course. Highly rated. It's about 4 times more algorithms than any other algorithm course on the market. It's been fun. Chris Sean getting a job at Entrepreneur Magazine. No, I haven't. I haven't heard of Entrepreneur Magazine, but it sounds like anything that's about being an entrepreneur is good. I'm no longer subscribed to his channel. I wish him the best, but I had to stop. The video that just pushed me over the edge where I couldn't watch anymore was the one where his girlfriend broke up with him, or him and his girlfriend broke up, and I was just like, this isn't even about software anymore, dude. I don't know, what's gonna come up? What's gonna be next? The For Love of Chris Sean reality show? I ain't got time for this, man. That was literally what I was thinking. I was just stunned when I watched it, and I was like, all right, dude. Well, good luck to you. You seem like a nice enough guy, but I mean, I tuned in for the software, right? Everyone wants something different. For me, I just tuned in for software talks and stuff, right? And I would be the same thing for Chris Hawks. If Chris Hawks all of a sudden started talking about his dating life, I might watch 1-2 videos. But when it goes to a dating life channel with a little bit of software, I'm done, you know? On what not to learn to code video? Just wait for the Dolan how to know you're no longer broke video. I think it's gonna come out really well. I got some good stuff, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I've never. Look, I get that there's more. Life is more than software, but I have other channels for that, right? I watch Hearthstone channels and League of Legends channels and MMA videos and stuff like that. But my software channels that I'm watching them for the software, right? I'm not saying it's got to be the only thing. But here's the thing. If I all of a sudden changed my channel and all of a sudden started posting Call of Duty videos, some of you might watch, some of you might not watch, right? You didn't come here for Call of Duty. You came here for the Dolan. But, you know, that's what I'm saying, though. I get life isn't all software, but if you subscribe to a channel about software, you know, that's the thing. I play video games also, right? I'm playing Kingdom Hearts right now. Waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3 to come out. Just a little bit here or there. I'm going to get the new Valkyrie Chronicles 3 when that comes out next month. Put a little bit of time in here or there. But you know, it's one of those things where could I do videos about like anime? I watch a ton of anime. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I actually have thought about it. And then I was like, you know what? Some people might like it. Anime reviews. Other people might say, why the hell is Dylan telling me about Attack on Titan? I don't know who Titan is, and I don't care why he's getting attacked. All right? What I want to know is how am I going to get this first dev job, Dylan? I ain't got time to attack the Titan. All right? You know? I ain't got time to go to the Academy of Heroes. All right, Dylan? I'm trying to be my own hero, trying to get the education without going to the academy, Dylan. You know, some of you guys watch anime. This was a great stuff. Everyone else got lost right now, and that's why you can't see. That's why there's no anime videos on the channel. About 10% of the audience in here understood what I was talking about and the genius of what I said. All right. Oh man. So. Yeah, attack that data. Thank you again to the two people who donated earlier. $12. That's appreciated, man. That's a brick in the house. I appreciate that. Some of you guys have been giving me shit for putting more ads in the videos. I'm sorry. But YouTube ain't paying like it used to, boys. Nah, YouTube's doing well, but I mean, sometimes you gotta get that cash money. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry if some of you are upset about the videos. You can skip the ads most of the time, but I'll be honest, man. I gotta make that money right now with the house. Hey, Craig, I appreciate the $5, man. Don't worry about that, man. I appreciate the support, though, man. And I tell you what, man. I tell everyone the same thing. I tell everyone the same thing when they start a YouTube channel. Whenever you get to 10% of where I'm at, just 10%. If you have 1 sub for every 10 that I have, reach out to me and we'll do a collab. That's it. So I know you're just getting started. I know you're grinding, Craig. I know you're going to get there. Don't overwhelm yourself. Put out a video a week. Don't worry about things being perfect. Just worry about learning and sharing your journey. Make sure it's about learning, though. The thing that a lot of people get wrong, a lot of these drama YouTube channels, what they get wrong is it becomes about YouTube. It becomes about them. It becomes about being a sort of mini celebrity and the enjoyment that they get out of having an audience that works with them. You need to have that's the wrong mindset. That's a short-term mindset. That's the greedy, narcissistic, self-centered mindset. The mindset that you need to have is that YouTube is a way for you to share something you already have and get value. And so it's a way for you to make a video portfolio. It's a side project. It's a way for you to continue to learn. So instead of catering your career to YouTube, YouTube is catered to your career. And so the idea is that you are not a YouTuber that does software development, as some channels seem to become. You are a software engineer that does YouTube, right? So what you're learning is not about what gets the best views. It's not about what gets the most ads. You know, it's not about that. The value you will get out of YouTube is You learn something, whether it does well or not, you throw it out there, it gets views, it grows the channel, maybe you get some money. That's all just bonus at the end of the day. So keep that in mind as you're on your YouTube channel journey. And just because that's just the thing, man, is don't worry about YouTube. YouTube will be here. Consistency will make your channel grow. And at the end of the day, what you need to do is become a software developer. You don't need to become a YouTuber. You need to become a software developer. And you need to become, once you become that, you need to become a better software developer. And that's why you see the people who I like a lot, like Chris Hawks is one of my favorite people. That's just a guy. That's just a software engineer that has a YouTube channel that likes sharing things, wants to make a couple extra bucks. You have Stefan Mischuk. I always pronounce his name wrong. But, it's just another guy talking about things, sharing his experience. Have I read Clean Code? Yes. I highly recommend it. There is a link in the description below. I've also read The Clean Coder, and I'm currently reading Clean Architecture. I've also read John Sonmez. John Sonmez is another guy. He's definitely gone down a little path, but another hardworking guy that might be working too hard, I think, at times. So I'm just telling you, Craig, because it's easy, right? It's like what we have 46 people in here. At some point, we had like 60 people in here. For the most part, all y'all like me. That's probably a fair statement. You're here because you either connect with me on a level where we think the same. I provide value to you. You respect my opinion. There's a few of you here who tell me I'm a piece of shit, but for the most part, you guys who watch the channel appreciate me in some fashion or another. That's probably a very fair statement to say. So it's very easy to, when you have people who say, hey, man, I'm a big fan, Dylan. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate you, man. I really do. You're the best, Dylan. You helped change my life. Where you can get very self-centered. You can get very narcissistic, where it's about you. Yeah, it's not about me, man. The best thing that you can do for yourself in your career, in your life, is to be humble. It's one thing to be confident. It's one thing to be happy and proud of yourself. Like I told you earlier, I'm proud of what's going on in my life. I'm proud of it. Don't bother me at all. I'm happy to talk openly about money, because I was talking openly about money when I was broke as shit. I'll be talking openly about money when I'm rich as shit. And I'm glad to talk openly about money when I'm doing well. All right. I think talking about money is a good thing. It's not something for me to say, I'm better than you, you're better than me. No, we're just talking, right? And when you're just talking, life is good, right? Except that woman in the DMV who profiled my ass, and all you people selling houses. So here's the thing you need to understand, man, is always keep yourself in check. Even when you're in a situation where, like, you have YouTube, you have 50,000 people who watch your channel or whatnot, and most of them, for the most part, appreciate you in some way and stop by and tell you that they appreciate you. It's very easy to become self-centered. It's very easy to start thinking you're full of yourself. So remember to be humble, because especially when you're interviewing, most of the time, if you're getting the interviews and you're not getting through and you're answering the questions correctly, it's a personality thing. It's something where they like, this guy's full of himself, or we don't want to work with him. Sorry, we're not going to work with somebody day in and day out that You think you think if I get out of front end, my pay would increase? I don't know, man. Twofold? That'd put me over 200K. I don't think my pay is gonna go in the 200s. Not in the Tampa market. I don't think they're paying devs that around here. So, I wouldn't mind getting out of web, but I enjoy it. Maybe if I went into if I really wanted a pay bump, I might be able to get one if I jumped into cryptocurrency programming. You telling me I could get 200K a couple years from now in the Tampa market? Doing what? Doing what, Kevin? Cloud? Doing the cloud? I mean, DevOps is a thing. I'm not going to act like it's not. You can make good money in DevOps, but DevOps pays a little bit better. Data analytics pays a little bit better, but cloud dev, I don't know, man. Here's the thing. This may surprise a lot of you, but when I got the bump that I got, and it's a significant bump, it was about a 40% pay increase for me. When I got that first paycheck, I didn't really feel any happier. And I told April this. I was actually depressed when I got that first check. That first check that was 40% bigger, it depressed me. Was I glad I got it? Yeah. But at the end of the day, like, what did it get me? You know what I mean? What did it really get me? I was already planning on buying a house. I wasn't gonna pay any debt off that I wasn't gonna have. My car's paid off. But I got it, and I mean, like, it's one of those things where I, don't get me wrong, like, more money is better, right? But like, I mean, I was living off like 25,000. You know what I mean? Before, and I was already, tripling that, so I was doing fine, and that's not even counting YouTube, right? But I got the check, and it was a weird feeling because, like, I remember just thinking that I was gonna feel something different. I mean, I was gonna feel something different when I got a larger check. I didn't feel anything different. I was like, oh, hey, that number's a little bit different than what came in here last time, 2 weeks ago. So it's I don't want to say this is like I'm ungrateful for, I've worked hard. I worked very hard to get paid very well. But it was a very strange thing. Things in life that fulfill you are not always money. Money, I didn't really believe it. Like, I think I was watching Joe Rogan. They had some economists on there, and they said that at 70, the amount of happiness people get from money is limited. It goes from like 75,000. Like, at 75,000, most people achieve happiness, and the reason for that is they lose that stress of life where they have to worry about how they're going to pay the bills, and they have enough to get by. Really, like, that stress is gone. And then there's the jump to about 95,000, and then you have like extra fluff money, and then you're doing good. You're, you know, you're doing good. Life is good. You got extra playroom. But after that, like the amount of money you make after that is just it's just like, okay, what do I do with this now? So I don't want to say I'm unhappy, but or anything like that, but it is one of those things where I didn't feel any additional happiness when I got a larger check. But it has provided value to where I can, I can take care of my mom. I can take care of my family members if needed. Help them get on their feet. Yeah. Probably going to pay for April's master's program. But just going to keep living life. Living under my means, boys. And I'm going to keep living under my means and setting up the future. And, it's about time after we buy this house to start saving for retirement and start making investments, man. So, entrepreneurship? I mean, I consider YouTube a bit of entrepreneurship to a degree. It's something I put time and effort into, and there's no guarantee of success, So it's one of those things. So there is a limiting return on the happiness that money gives you, is my point being. At this point, and I didn't believe it. Here's the crazy thing is I've been told this by like devs who are older than me, have a few more years of experience, already got to that financial cap that they were at, where I've been told by 4 or 5 other devs that they're like, you know what, man, I'm at the point in my life. It's always say, you know, man, I'm at the point in my life where, I think I'd stay even if a company offered me 20 grand more, just because I like the company I'm at, because I'm happy here. I don't need another 20 grand. And I'm like, boy, another 20 grand? Shit. Am I still living in Florida? Yes. What other field would I like to work in besides web? I don't know, man. What do you say if you love your job, you never work a day in your life? Here's the thing, man. This is the best job I ever had. It's crazy to say, but I mean, of all the shitty jobs I've had out there, I was working my ass off. Being a developer is not only the best job I've ever had, it's the easiest job I've ever had. Easy in a different sense. Not to say that I don't work hard. You can work hard and things can be easy, but but I'm happy where I'm at for the short term. For the long term, we'll see what happens. I don't know what I do besides web though. If anything, if I was to go in a different direction besides web, there's always mobile. If I had like an app I wanted to build, there's fintech, but that usually leads to web. There's the crypto space. There's the data science, data analytics route. There's always different things to go. Yeah, it's been a long one tonight, boys. All right. I'm gonna drop some knowledge on you, and then I'm gonna head out here. We're gonna leave with the final thought, similar to the late great late great Jerry Springer. I was gonna say Jerry Seinfeld. Jerry Springer. Final thoughts. So we've talked about a lot of things. A lot of it's been related to money because that's what a lot of you guys need and want, right? Most of you are trying to change your life, get your careers together, and start a career. You know, some of you have kids, some of you have family, some of you just want to be better off in life, and you know, just take care of yourself. You're sick of the grind, but money can only make you so happy. It's only one part of the equation. You know, money isn't everything, but it is something. But again, it's not everything. So when people tell you money's not important or money's not everything, that's true, but it's definitely something. And it's something that has made me a lot happier, just being able not to have to worry about bills. You know, rent comes out of the paycheck, comes out of the bank account. I don't have to worry about it. It's all set up to auto pay. All my bills are auto pay, my credit card, my rent, my utilities just comes out when it comes out. I don't even need to make sure the balance is all right. It's just there. Life is good. That stress of life is off me. But you know, there's more important things to life. And this is something I've struggled with, without a doubt. And I don't want you to struggle with it. I don't put as much time in my relationship as I should. I don't put as much time in my health as I should. I'm not a perfect individual. But these are things that I'm working towards. And so I want to make sure that you're working towards them as well. Get your money right, without a doubt. But when you do have it right, make sure that you change your direction and you're focused on what's also important. It's only one part of the equation. And if you don't handle the other parts for too long, you're going to start suffering in the long term, and some things you can't come back, right? So keep that in mind. Also, there's a direct correlation with weight gain and money increase. So let me tell you, the more money I've made, the fatter I've got. So you got to get on that health train pretty soon. I'll see you guys later. Don't forget to check out my courses if you haven't. There's links in the description as well as all the books I made. Thank you again to our 2 donations today. Your boy's buying a house, and let me tell you, April is expensive as fuck, boys. Help a brother out. No, so check out the courses, guys. It's been fun. An extra long live stream today. I'm probably going to lose my voice tomorrow from this. You know, stay humble, stay learned, stay learned. Stay a lifelong learner. Work hard, accomplish things you want to accomplish, and be thankful when you do. And remember, the harder you work, the luckier you get. I'll see you guys next time.